Today I am going to show you how to create mask shape using expression. Okay, so for that purpose I am here show you Spirograph. So we can learn how to create Spirograph using expression as well as how to convert that expression into shape. Okay, so let's start here, and as you see here, see here all path. This mask path has some good spiro shapes. Okay, so before we start in After Effects and the process that we create some expression for this and convert that expression into shape, I'm going to show you what is the logic or equation behind this Spirograph. Okay, so as you see here, almost all people go through this device that creates Spirograph in their childhood. So for example, I consider this point as my pencil point and all these things. So these things work like this. So for example, here I consider this angle, the main angle, this as for example T, and radius of this as R, and this small gear as small r radius. And for example, I consider this point as my draw shape. So for example, distance from the center of this small gear to this point is for example A. So what we have to find is this, the XY coordinate at T angle. Okay, so for Spirograph, for example, if you search for any website and all these things, here is one equation is that, for example, xt is equal to r minus small r into cos r small r divided by capital R into t plus a into cos bracket 1 minus r divided by capital R into t. Okay, and for yt, r minus r into sine r divided by capital R into t minus a into sine bracket 1 minus r divided by r into t. Okay, so you can find the solution in any website. Just search Spirograph maths in Google, so you can find multiple website for the logic and mathematics behind this. Okay, so I'm not going to show you the depth logic or the solution of this equation. Okay, so we have to just apply this equation in After Effects. So now we move into After Effects. So here I just create my new composition and I write down Spirograph, duration 300, background whatever you want. Okay, so here my new composition, and now I create one new solid layer. for example red color, and 50 50. Okay, so here I got this small solid shape. Now I go to effect, and here I create some controllers. For example, we need angle, that is T, so I create here and I write down. I just press enter key to rename this attribute, and I write T. Now go to effect, expression control, and slider control. For example, this is my capital R, and I put some value, for example 30. Now I create one more slider, and that is your small r, and here for example I put 17. I create one more controller, that is for my A. Okay, and here I put, for example, some 5 or say 7. Okay, now here just go to position, that is by pressing P, and I open all this attribute. Now I press Alt and click on this stopwatch to add expression. So here is my expression editor. So now I call all this value first of all. So I create one variable that is called T. T is equal to, I just drag this value, angle. But now you see, always whenever you use trigonometry in After Effects, or most probably all expression or scripting application, they always want your angle in radian form. So here I add one more syntax, that is other maths and degree to radian, because my angle is in degree form, so we have to convert that degree into radian. So here I just put these things. Now capital R is equal to this, small r is equal to this, and A is equal to these things. Now as we know, our xt is equal to, but we need this thing in center, so for that I put this dot comp, this comp dot width divide by 2. So it's always put your value in the center of your composition, and here I add plus, and we apply our logic, and that is bracket r minus small r into mat dot cos into r into t divided by capital R plus a into mat dot cos bracket 1 minus r divided by capital R into t, and I put all these things in one bracket, and here I write yt is equal to this comp dot height divide by 2 plus, and I copy this value because here we have very small changes. So Control C, Control V. Just I change here cos to sine, here plus to minus, and here again sine. And now I have to apply these things over here. So I just put square bracket xt comma yt. Okay, so here I apply my logic on this position. Now what you have to do, you have to just animate this angle. So for example, here I animate this thing and I rotate this cycle, for example 20 cycle, and here in position, here you have show post expression graph. So I click on this and you see here you got some spirograph. So for example, I increase these things, for example 100, and you see you get this graph. For example, I change my value, for example 30, 17 and 51. Okay, so you have to animate this angle so we can get these positions. Now I change some value like 23, 30 and 17, and you see you get some good spirograph. Now for example, you happy with this graph, so what I have to do, I just select my position, I go to animation, keyframe assist, convert expression to keyframes. Okay, now I select this position, I copy these things by pressing Ctrl C. Now I create one solid layer and make composition size okay, and here I draw one mask path. Now I go to mask, I already copied this value, I just select this mask path and just press Ctrl V. Now I double click this thing, I just scale it up, and you see you get the shape. Now I just apply one stroke, I animate these things, even you can paste this thing on your shape path. For example, I create one shape path, shape layer, I go to shape, contain, shape, path 1, and here in that path you just paste that value. Okay, the shape over here, I just double click on that. Now you see you get this path. So that's how you create or you convert your expression into shape. Now here I show you one more shape that is surprise for you. For example, I create one more composition, I press OK. Again I create one solid 50 by 50 red one. Again I create expression angle control, and one more thing, that is slider. Okay, here I put this name is angle, and here for example T, and here I set it so R. Now I go to position, as well as I open effects. I just click over here, I press T, I create one variable, I drag this value, capital R is equal to, that is my radius, is equal to this. And obviously we have to convert these things into radian form, so I go to degree to radian, I remove this stuff, I complete my bracket. Now here, for example, I create one new surprise equation, that is xt is equal to 16 into sine cube t. So for that cube purpose I go to JavaScript maths, and here you have mat power. So in this value I put mat dot sine t, and here 3. So this indicates 16 into sine cube t, and these things I multiply with r. Now yt is equal to 13 into mat dot cos t minus 5 into mat dot cos 2 into t minus 2 into mat dot cos 3 into t and minus mat dot cos 4 into t. Okay, and here I add one more thing, that is this comp dot width divided by 2 plus this thing is in bracket. Same thing here, this comp dot height divided by 2 minus this all thing in bracket, and these things multiply with r, and I put this thing into square bracket. Now for example I activate these things. Now you see I animate my angle, and here you have to add some value, for example 20. Now you see what happened with this equation. Okay, so 360 create one heart shape. Okay, now see here you get so many segments. So to reduce this segment, you just reduce your animation, your trim your or fast your animation. So now you see you get lesser point. Now I just select this position, I go to animation, keyframe assist, convert expression to keyframe. I copy this thing, I create one solid layer, create one mask path, go to M, press M, and just paste these things over here, and you get some good heart shape. And just apply some stroke and all this thing, and animate this stuff. Okay, so hope you like this tutorial. See you soon with another tutorial.